this person asked me, hey bro, what is the Bitcoin chart saying for you? And is 21K possible in September? So I'm going to cover the second part of the question first, and then I'll actually take a look at the BTC chart afterwards. So is 21K possible? I would first just remove 21K. I'll replace that with 0. And I'll say, yeah, even 0 is possible. And if that happens in September, if BTC goes to 0 in September, you have to be cool with it. You don't have to like it, but you kind of have to accept it that, yeah, it's a possibility. And one of my favorite examples for this is actually showing what happened with oil futures on the 20th of April, 2020. So basically what happened is oil, for the first time in history, traded at 0 and then even went below 0, and it fell to -40. And then the contract finally settled at -37, the oil futures contracts. And then they finally settled at -37. And then oil CFDs on CFD platforms, so not like the actual futures themselves, but just like the CFDs of the oil futures, the brokers literally had to pause trading on oil because like their platforms weren't designed to handle negative prices. So they literally had to like freeze trading on oil and until like the whole fiasco kind of settled. So yeah, that was an insane day, because it definitely really opened my eyes to this idea that, yeah, stuff can literally go to 0, not just go to 0, but even go below 0. So yeah, that is absolutely crazy. If you're wondering how is it possible for something to trade at negative, basically what happened is, if you closed your position in the negatives, you were legally required to go and like collect the physical oil. So yeah, you were legally required to take physical delivery of the oil. So like people were literally paying other people to take their oil. And the problem was, storage for this oil was really expensive or really hard to find, and that's basically why. So yeah, crazy time. So yeah, now that we covered that, let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart. So here's my take on BTC. So with BTC, I don't dabble in swing trading like at all. I literally just have a giant, or like a very long-term view with BTC. And I'm very passive with how I approach this, which is just, I think that the average price in 2035 to 2036, which is about 10 years from now, I think that it's going to be higher than whatever it is today. That's it. That is literally the play. That's what I'm doing. And basically how I execute that trade is, every month or every few months, I will go and buy some BTC relative to whatever money I have, or relative to my net worth. And I have a minimum amount, and I also have a maximum amount. So I have a minimum amount of like, if my holdings of BTC go below a certain threshold, I'm below my minimum threshold, so I'll be aggressively buying more. If my holdings go above a specific threshold of my net worth, then I'll be aggressively selling it off back into cash. And the logic there is, I always want to maintain some exposure to crypto. And I think that in 10 years from now, it's going to be higher than what it is today. But I also want to be taking profit along the way as well, because I probably will not be able to have a fantastic entry price, and I also won't be able to have a fantastic exit. But that's fine as long as I'm somewhat directionally correct. There will be some money to be made, right? So I'm just trying to be directionally correct, and that's literally it, and take profit along the way. So I've only started to show buys on my chart for now, because this is what I documented literally in my Telegram. Um, I actually did sell at the highs, but the thing is, I don't want to be the guy who says I sold at the highs when I didn't. I don't have like any posts of me being like, hey, by the way, I'm selling now at the highs. So I don't have any posts on that. So that's why I don't want to have stuff written here. But like, I'm just saying I sold at these highs. But I also didn't have the best buybacks either. So this is when I actually started sharing that I'm buying back into it. So I bought some on this dump. Then, but basically all I do is just I buy when like an aggressive dip comes. I just so happen to buy, and that would be like my buy of the month or something like that. Whenever a larger dip than normal would arrive, right? And if my exposure becomes maxed out, I just simply stop buying, and that's it. And it's going to stay that way until either my net worth increases in cash, or B, if the price of BTC goes up. Those are the two conditions which will cause me to rebalance back into cash. So that's like the overall strategy that I use, and that's actually why I'm not really that concerned with like what is price doing relative to these levels. I still take a look at it, but I just don't give it that much weight. But nonetheless, while we're here, I'll give you my take. But I will say, like, quick disclaimer, please take what I say with a grain of salt. Like, I can't really say this is financial advice. And also, I don't even trade in this way, but I'll just share I'll just share my thoughts anyway. So this is just what I'm seeing and what I'm assuming. So yeah, we had this big dump late January until February, this one right here. And after this, feels like BTC's been really slow. Hasn't really been doing much. It's basically range bound here. It looked like it was wanting to break out of this range. But then as soon as it hit 80K, the whole thing just kind of started turning in the other direction. So that was not nice to see. So now it's at a point where it reclaims back inside this range, and then we'll see if it ends up going to the range lows. So something like that. I'll switch time frames. It'll be easier. Maybe I'll switch again. There we go. So we'll have to see, like, is it going to reclaim the lows, break structure, and then maybe we'll see a little bit more upside, or B, is it gonna just continue trending down all the way and reclaim back inside this range? So yeah, we will have to see. So is this gonna bounce off this level, or is it gonna fall all the way through? We're really gonna have to see. But this is actually a nice spot if you are trading altcoins intraday, because whenever BTC is doing like something really slow and not that exciting, I feel like it's a little bit easier to trade the alts, because you don't have to be as worried or as have your attention like kind of fractured or split between the alt that you're trading and Bitcoin. Because if Bitcoin's moving a lot, and Bitcoin is where the action is, a lot of the alts are just going to play copycat and follow whatever BTC is doing. And whenever that happens, I have to put all of my attention on whatever BTC is doing, and I'm just limited to only trading BTC and based on what Bitcoin is doing. I can't really touch or have any optionality with what I want to trade, because if BTC is where all the attention is, all of the alts basically become meaningless. Whereas in an environment where BTC isn't really doing anything, that gives me a lot more freedom to pick, like, if a coin is going absolutely ballistic, I can be a lot more confident in trading that, knowing that if BTC happens to move down on that day, it's probably not going to pull my alt down with it. Like, when BTC is slow and not moving that much, if you're trying to capture something crazy in an altcoin, it's very well possible. It absolutely is doable, for sure. But whenever BTC is yeah, taking all the action, it's a little bit harder. It's a little bit harder. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, at the moment, basically what I'm saying is it should be easier to manage trades right now. Like you don't have to split your attention between two different charts. You can look at the one just like only your altcoin right now. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Did I miss anything there? Yeah, I think really the only thing that I use the macro BTC chart, it's not even to like gauge what is the direction of BTC or how is my spot bag going to do. That's not how I use the macro BTC chart. I only use it to kind of get a feel for like how much attention do I need to give to BTC while I'm scalping altcoins intraday. So like right now it's a little bit more clear that, oh, okay, alts are a little bit easier. That's all it means. It doesn't mean alts are going to run harder. I don't want that to be misinterpreted. It's just that alts are going to be easier, specifically with managing an active trade. So this has nothing to do with like, they're going to be easier to pick winners or pick big runners. It's not that. It's just how easy will it be to know that my trade idea is invalidated after I'm already in the trade. That's it. But yeah, I hope that answers the question. If you have any more or any follow-up questions, just drop me your question in the comments and I'll get back to you hopefully in a video format as well. All right. Thanks for watching. And by the way, if you're serious about improving as a trader, I'd like to invite you into my free Telegram. Here's what you're going to get inside. You're going to get a 100-page guide on how I trade breakouts. You're also going to get a 214-page guide on how I trade reversals. And by the way, these two guides, I go really, really in depth with the strategies, with the theory, with the logic, and also I include like total combined within these two guides, there's more than 75 trade screenshots for you to study, like through just continuous repetition, and it's going to help you train that pattern recognition of seeing the exact same thing happen over and over again. Also, you're going to get a custom trading journal that I built, which makes it really easy for you to track your trades, but also to review your trades. Like literally in the journal, there's a tab called educational resources. And in there, I have a template for reviewing trade screenshots and guide to show you the process for how to actually review your trade screenshots to improve your performance over time. And also a whole bunch of other stuff as well that I give out for free in my Telegram. So if that sounds interesting, click the link in the description to join.